Hey guys, Level Cap here and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. The Battlefield 1 CTE is finally available on consoles. For those of you that aren't familiar with CTE, it's called the Community Test Environment, which is a version of Battlefield 1 available to premium owners that DICE uses to test upcoming patches and DLC. Finally, now that it's available on consoles, DICE can start working on platform-specific balancing. Unfortunately, though, it does seem like there's a limited number of spaces. Hopefully, DICE will open this up in the future. In addition to this, DICE is also testing a new Specializations system for Battlefield 1. This is similar to class specializations in previous Battlefield games where you could pick something that would give you different perks on the actual battlefield. DICE has said that they aren't going to have any perks this time around that increase your hit points like they did in Battlefield 4. The devs are looking for feedback on these new perks, so hop on the CTE, try them out, and let them know what you think. According to a listing on Amazon France that was quickly removed, EA are releasing a new bundle for Battlefield 1 called Revolution Edition. It includes the main game and premium pass for €60. BF1 currently comes bundled with deluxe edition of the game for $80 total. €60 is about $70, so the Revolution Edition will be a $10 discount assuming the price isn't region specific. The listing gave an August 22nd release date for all platforms. It seems like EA will announce the release date for In the Name of the Tsar DLC at Gamescom this coming Wednesday, so they might also announce the Revolution Edition then. In PUBG news, a huge monthly patch has been released. It includes a ton of bug fixes, tweaks, and optimizations, as well as a new sniper rifle, the Mark 14 EBR, but most importantly, it adds first-person only servers and a proper FOV slider to the game. This is something myself and many other players have wanted since day one. Now that it's finally here, I'm really excited to see how it changes the overall game of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I've been playing a lot of the patch live on my Twitch channel, and I put out a video yesterday covering it all in detail. The quality of life improvements made to the first-person animations, especially for looting, are really nice. Before this patch, looting in first person would make the camera move in a really jerky up and down motion. Now it's static while looting, which helps avoid giving players motion sickness. It's nice to see devs taking minor issues like this seriously and making real improvements. On their own, these small changes don't seem that important, but when you lump them all together, they make a big difference. As for other issues with the patch, when it first launched there was teleporting all over the place, especially in the early game moments. Thankfully, a hotfix was pushed yesterday that resolved this issue. The various optimizations made in the patch haven't resulted in a huge performance boost on my end, but I'm sure something has been done to make these things better behind the scenes. When it comes to player count, PUBG has overtaken CSGO's 500,000 current player count, putting it second only to Dota 2. How much bigger will PUBG get is anyone's guess, but sales haven't slowed down since launch, with the game selling around 1 million or more copies per month. Star Citizen's next big alpha update, version 3.0, has been delayed for a fourth time. This is the update that will add seamless planetary landings among a massive list of substantial features and new technologies. 3.0 was originally scheduled at launch at the end of last year, but is now set to release in early September. It is without question the biggest update of the game yet and was previously scheduled for release this month. Fortunately, it sounds like the update is close to being finalized and hopefully won't be delayed any further. The devs posted on their website that they're entering the optimization, polish, and bug fixing phase for the 3.0 feature set. That said, there is no telling if they will meet their new deadline. If their tech demo videos are anything to go by, they've accomplished a tremendous amount of work since 2.0's release, and I can't wait to see what 3.0 is like on launch. Ark Survival Evolved has been delayed. Originally scheduled for an August 8th departure from early access, Ark will now debut on the 29th for all platforms. How finished will it actually be is uncertain. Players were deeply troubled by the recent price hike made in anticipation of the retail launch, mainly because Ark still has a wide variety of issues. The devs are apparently working on optimization, bug fixes, cheating, and balancing. Destiny 2 has surpassed the first game's pre-order and beta participant figures. The first game's initial beta had 4.6 million players. Exact figures haven't been released for Destiny 2's beta, but we know it's more. PC players will get Destiny 2's beta starting on August 28th. Unfortunately, it sounds like an effort has been made to prevent people from recording the game with OBS or using third-party overlays like Discord, at least in full screen mode. It's assumed that restrictions are being made to prevent exploits and cheating. The way that capture software overlays generally work is the same way that cheat applications generally work, in that they overlay imagery on top of the game, like wall hacks and information that tells you about your opponents. So defeating these types of cheats might also defeat popular recording software like the one that I use, which is OBS. It's actually going to directly affect my ability to record and stream the game, so we'll have to see what Bungie does down the road, or how much this actually affects the social media coverage of the game, the YouTube and Twitch coverage, which is something that I think most developers shouldn't turn their nose up at. I would say most people on PC record using software that will not be supported by Destiny 2, and that the few people that do record using hardware will be okay, but it's going to impact the YouTube and Twitch community quite drastically. Call of Duty World War II private beta participants will get a custom helmet, beta calling card, and matching emblem. The beta starts on the 25th and is only available for console players that pre-order the game. The PC beta doesn't have a release date. Overwatch's second annual Summer Games event launches on August 8th. Skins and other cosmetic items from last year's event will be available at discounted prices during this year's Summer Games, with Junkrat, Mercy, Widowmaker, and McCree getting new legendary skins. Lucio Ball is also making a return with some tweaks to ensure a more balanced experience. Titanfall 2 is now free to play for EA Access and Origin Access members. This has possibly doubled the number of active players on PC if third-party trackers are to be believed. Based on limited testing, I can definitively say finding matches is a little quicker than before, but it's still pretty slow. The release of the co-op PvE mode Frontier Defense is going pretty well though. Playing this week, we were able to consistently find matches in under a minute. The mode itself is pretty fun but repetitive. That said, if you're into Titanfall 2 at all and want to quickly unlock stuff, Frontier Defense is a great way to do it. Battlefield 1 is also going to be included in the EA Origin Access soon. Subscribing costs $4.99 a month or $29.99 a year, depending on which plan you choose. PlayStation Plus membership is going up in the EU to €60 from its current price of €50. A similar price hike happened in the US last year. UK prices are going from £40 to £50. Sony hasn't said why they're raising the prices aside from market conditions. The PC platform is apparently very important to the parent company of Rockstar Games, Take-Two Interactive. When asked about the PC market during a recent investor call, Take-Two's president reaffirmed that the PC is very important and very exciting for them, and something they focus on. When asked about the PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2, however, Take-Two Games gave no real answer. A PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2 hasn't been announced yet, but is considered very likely given the wild success of GTA 5 on the platform. GTA 5 Online alone accounted for a significant percentage of Take-Two's $418 million net income over the past 3 months. Of course, GTA 5 is the publisher's most popular title by a huge margin. Still, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of their most anticipated titles ever, so it's likely to sell incredibly well on the platform it's released for. Winter Survival Simulator: The Long Dark has left early access. The game's first 2 story mode episodes are now playable. Throughout its early access run, players have been able to explore the game's sandbox survival mode. Newcomers to the game will most likely find the sandbox mode very daunting. The story missions really are the easiest way to learn the game. They slowly introduce you to the game's core mechanics without throwing you into the deep end head first like the survival mode tends to do. Beyond that, reviews are generally mixed regarding the actual content of the story missions, but overall the rock-solid gameplay is there and fans of the survival game should feel right at home with it. AMD have finally revealed pricing and performance details for their upcoming Ryzen Threadripper CPUs and the Radeon RX Vega GPUs. Threadripper competes with Intel's new Core i9 processors and boasts slightly better performance, starting at $549 for the 8-core Threadripper CPU and going as high as $1,000 for their top-end 12-core unit. AMD is certainly keeping the pressure on Intel, whose comparably priced CPUs are technically less advanced and less powerful. The new Vega GPUs are aimed to compete with NVIDIA's GTX 1070 and GTX 1080 GPUs, which are both on the high end of the mid-range scale, with the 1080 being pretty much the most powerful GPU the average consumer would need at $399 and $499. The new Vega GPUs are pretty much on par with NVIDIA's pricing, though the real-world performance has yet to be measured. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.